Another true story of Matthew Mitchley would be when Matt Mitchley and his fiancée were at their apartment at approximately 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning. There was a knock at the door, and Mitchley went to find out who it was and could see a man dressed in a security outfit. When Mitchley opened the door, the security officer asked him if he had seen a man named Ivan. Mitchley hadn't, so he denied seeing him, but the man persisted to ask about Ivan. Mitchley told the man the same thing. He didn't know where he was, but if he saw anything, he'd let security know. At this point, the security officer pushed Mitchley back and started being aggressive towards him. At one point, he lifted his shirt to reveal a gun, and then these two Mexicans came from around the corner into his apartment, and that's when Mitchley began to cooperate with the men. The men put the masks on and then tied Mitchley up. Then they began asking where the pot was and that Ivan owed the money, and they wanted to know where he was hiding. So they went to his bedroom where Jen was, and the whole time she's yelling, "Can somebody tell me what's going on here?" The men started emptying out drawers, looking for money, drugs, anything they could use as collateral against this Ivan guy. They took random stuff like a bucket full of spare change. So they took Jen into a room where Mitchley was tied up, which, by the way, makes them kidnappers, legally. And Jen is still yelling, "Can someone just please tell me what's going on?" Until she sees Mitchley tied up. Then Mitchley tells her just to stay calm and sit down. And when they have a moment alone, he tells her to take off her engagement ring and hide it so they don't steal it. They use pillowcases, and they start stealing valuables in the house. They took Jen's purse and a cell phone, but purposely left Mitchley's cell phone behind. They took his wallet, and then they started stealing some more really odd things, like they left his Band of Brothers DVD collection, which is the most expensive set of DVDs he owned, but they stole Jen's collection of Sex and the City DVDs. Overall, they stole $1,600 worth of stuff. After they were done looting the place, they told Mitchley if he called the cops, they had a guy waiting outside that was going to kill them. So Matt and Jen waited a while, and after they talked things over with his family, they decided to call the cops. Eventually, the perpetrators called Mitchley from Jen's phone and said, "Sorry, we got the wrong guy. We thought that this was this guy's Ivan's place and that he owed us money." Apparently, they ignored that his ID was real and that his name wasn't Ivan, nor did Ivan live there. The crooks offered to leave Mitchley's belongings someplace random so that they could pick them up, but Mitchley didn't want to deal with them again. So, I guess the moral of the story is not to open the door to strangers, or make sure you don't move into a drug dealer's old apartment.
Matt Mitchley's the kind of guy that will take you out, get you drunk, and then have you throw up on your future wife as he sends you home. Real nice friend, that Matt Mitchley.
He is a lot more fun when he's got a few drinks in him.
He just recently was very intoxicated, and we went camping in my yard, and he walked out of his own tent to turn back around and urinate back into his own tent onto Mike's head. It was quite gross.
When he's drunk, he tends to steal.
Klepto.
Yeah, only when he's drunk though.
Big time.
He's the kind of guy that will get you drunk and then ask you to have a threesome, and after you say no and pass out, he'll have sex with your best friend on your birthday in your house.
Well, he just shows up here on Thursday nights and tries to go to the bar with me, and then he just tries to get me drunk, buying me kamikaze shots all the time, and leaves me notes under my door about buying me dinner. And then I avoid him and pretend I'm not here when he comes.
Here's a true story about Mitchley. One night, we go to the old corner, and it was Mitchley, Danny, Billy, and me. Well, I noticed that my friends are moving to this table with these not-so-attractive girls. One was named Echo, and one we just called Fatty. Well, anyway, my friends have obviously been drinking enough to talk to these girls and hit on them, but anyway, Luke shows up, and let's just say he's a character. But regardless, he and Mitchley are trying to con the fat chick into taking her shirt off. So my friends are hitting on these ugly girls when Luke asks Mitchley who they're going to fight tonight. So suddenly Mitchley gets this idea that he needs to kick someone's ass. So he stands up, and it's literally our table and one other table beside us, and he yells, "Who wants to fight? Who the fuck wants to fight?" Well, Echo, this girl that was sitting at our table, stands up and she goes, "I'll fight you, Mitchley." Mitchley reaches across the table and slaps her across the face. I'm not even being sarcastic. I was expecting like a joking slap or maybe even a miss. No, this was a slap. So the girl walks around the table to him and gets in his face, and Mitchley closes his eyes as if he's going to get hit, and he cuddles up into this, position, and I had the only angle to see what her face looks like, and she was actually going to kiss him. She was giving them a look like, "I want you," after he clearly hit her. Maybe she has an abusive past, I don't know, but he doesn't pay attention because he's waiting for a beating, so she talks gently to him, says something to him, and then puts him in a headlock, and they both sit back down. But the story doesn't end there. Like, I was in shock. But the entire time, regardless of whether Fatty is close to us or not, Danny is yelling, "I'll pull the Fatty, I don't care." So anyway, everyone's wasted. Mitchley announces that he has no more money, but he wants a beer. Well, Billy asks, "If you're getting a beer, could you grab me a Miller Lite?" Mitchley replies, $3 won't get you a beer. And Billy goes, "How expensive is the beer here?" Mitchley says, "I know it's more than $3, so Mitchley gets handed another $1 from Billy, and Danny says, "Oh, give me a beer," and hands him $1. So Mitchley throws the $1 back in his face and says, "$1 won't get you shit." So he goes into the bar, and 5 seconds later walks out and he goes, "I need 50 more cents." And Billy's like, "What do you need 50 more cents for? It's just a Miller Lite." And Mitchley goes, "All I know is that the bartender is asking for 50 more cents. So Billy gives him the 50 cents, and he heads back into the bar. And Mitchley walks out with a Jaeger bomb. One Jaeger bomb. Sits down, and Billy says, "Where's my Miller Lite?" Mitchley slides the Jaeger bomb over to Danny, and he says, "This Jaeger bomb is for Danny." So Danny starts drinking it, and he's like, "Hey, thanks, Billy." Well, Billy at this point is so confused how he gave $4.50 and received no beer. So I immediately run in and I buy Billy a beer. What the hell Mitchley was thinking blows my mind. Not only did he steal the money for booze, he stole it to give to someone else. And he hit a chick, not the fat one. End of story.